Okay, we're ready. Welcome, everybody, to the December 9th meeting of the Commission on Aging. Well, we had to alter our time a little bit, but I hope everybody can join us. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. And first agenda item is the approval of the minutes. Everybody had a chance to review those, I hope. Are there any additions or corrections? If not, do I hear a motion for approval?
I would move to approve as submitted.
Do I hear a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, the meetings will be approved. There are no public appearances for non-agenda items, so we'll move on to our first agenda item, which is the updated mission statement.
Okay. So bringing this back, hopefully for the last time, October, we didn't have a quorum, and then in November, I canceled the meeting, and so we're kind of back to this. And as you can see on the minutes, the initial proposed mission statement, we had mission of the Fitchburg Senior Center is to advance healthy aging for vibrant as well as vulnerable populations through diverse social and recreational opportunities and supportive services. We did make the recommended change of Jim, and we changed it to the mission of the senior center is to advance healthy aging from vibrant to vulnerable populations. Through diverse social, recreational, and volunteer opportunities and supportive services. So just hoping that this kind of pleases everybody. I think it really is a great statement. I think it does encompass everything that we do. And so, by approving this, then I can incorporate this into our new senior center, our legacy brochure, as well as our marketing brochure and other places that we could put this, so.
Okay.
Any questions?
I think it looks very nice and says everything it needs to in a very concise manner. Thank you, ladies, for working on this and developing it.
Yeah.
If there are no further questions, shall we entertain a motion for approval?
I move approval.
Okay,
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I would second it.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
Okay. The new mission statement has been approved.
Thank you, and thank you for the committee on plans, Linda also. I didn't see the dance. Linda and Barbara, Ruth and Nan Hoffman, who worked on this, so thank you for that.
Okay, next is the report from the Senior Center Friends. Marcia.
Okay. My report today is from 2 months for the Friends. Our November 5th meeting as well as our December 2nd meeting. The Friends brochure, which if you're in the room, I passed out a copy. It looks like this. It folds out, it's a trifold. It's now available. I talked about it at, I guess, the October meeting that it would be available soon, so it is now available. It's nicely printed. There's a supply for those who might be watching at home. There is a supply of them out in the entryway of City Hall. There's also a supply in the entry to the Senior Center. So it describes who the Friends are, what we do. It can be used to recruit board members, encourage traveling, and fundraise. The Friends Board agreed to pay for holiday meals at Thanksgiving and Christmas, emergency meals, for instance, if there's a snowstorm, something like that during the winter, where the meal site can't be used, there'll be, a way to provide food to those who usually come to the center to eat. And as well as Veterans Day meals, we served 32 veterans and their companion, and that amounted to $290. A donation was received from the Ken and Marlene Mack Charitable Fund, specifically to be used for the nutrition programs. And we will donate a portion of that to Little John's, who has helped us a lot during the pandemic. For the first time in 2 years, a couple of people took a tour of New England in October, the same tour that was taken in October 2019. So 2022 is expected to bring back travel, although when I wrote this, it looked better than it does maybe today. But so far, 40 people have made plans to travel with us in 2022. A travel show is planned for January 19th at 1 o'clock. And that'll showcase the 4 tours being planned for 2022. Costa Rica is one, Holland, Michigan with Mackinac Island is another, the Colorado trains, and then the national parks of the Southwest spread out through the year. Our president, Bob Hillner, appeared before the city council, I believe in November, to speak about transportation needs of area seniors. He was also interviewed by a reporter of the Fitchburg Star, which should appear in the next issue. During October and November, the Friends have supported the senior center participants with special needs in the amount of $247 and scholarships in the amount of $313. The board recently approved increasing the annual support of scholarship users to $300 a year versus the $150 that it was. The Christmas Star Show was attended by almost 50 people on December 4th. I believe they enjoyed themselves and that. Any questions?
Okay, thank you very much, Marcia, and thank you to the Friends of the Senior Center. Next, we have our report from our director.
All right. Just to follow up with Marcia, the Friends have been working really hard. The brochure is great. We do have a lot of people that sometimes wonder what the Friends do and what they are, so it's nice to have that informational marketing brochure. It's also a way for people to donate. I know sometimes it gets confusing that the Friends are a nonprofit and they accept donations, and the Senior Center, we can accept donations, and so the Friends often advertise those donations for transportation, meals, and then the special needs. That's a lot of the stuff that they fund. And then other donations, memorials, the Legacy Fund, that stuff goes to the Senior Center. Although technically the Friends support the Senior Center, so it all comes back to the city. So thank you to the Friends and all the work that they do. So I just wanted to start off with where we're at with our plan for growth, and I've asked Linda to kind of comment on that. And I feel really good about this group and where we're going, and so you want to chime in?
Sure.
That's called delegation.
A couple of things I just want to mention. First of all, the background and mission and vision statement, just so that it becomes clear. When you're looking at a mission statement, it explains why you exist, what's your core purpose, and that's So what is a thought leader? So I'm going to go over that just a little bit. The standard definition, I think it's a little bit long, but it's important that we all understand where we're going, what we're trying to accomplish. Thought leaders are the informed opinion leaders and go-to people in their field of expertise. They become the trusted sources who move and inspire people with innovative ideas, turn ideas into reality, and know and show how to replicate their success. Over time, they create a dedicated group of friends, fans, and followers to help them replicate and scale their ideas into sustainable change, not just in one company, but in an industry, niche, or across an entire ecosystem. That's a lot. But to say that's kind of the vision of what we have for the Fitchburg Senior Center, to be that recognized thought leader, does say a lot. Now I like to use metaphors and to use different kinds of examples. I'm going to just pass out a sheet of paper. I want you to not turn it over till I tell you to turn it over. Make sure everybody gets one. And then when I tell you to, I just want you to turn it over. Need one more? Oh, we got it. And I just want you to turn it over and tell me what it is.
Landscape or portrait? Does it matter?
Just turn it over and tell me what you see.
Looks like a woman sitting down. I don't know, Scott, can we show this to anybody on the screen?
That'll get the answer. Just,
Oh, really?
but do it. Show it on the screen.
Who else, everybody else say what you think it is.
Okay, now if you hold it up and see it from a distance. When you see it from a distance,
Dave, what do you think that is?
it becomes
Kind of
clear.
looks like a person's face.
Yeah, oh, from a distance.
From a distance here, it looks like
Barbara,
I think
oh,
a
yeah,
woman's
for
face.
sure. When you see it up close, Dave, you can hardly see that. That's interesting.
That is actually me.
Oh.
This is what the full picture looks
Oh.
like.
It's Linda.
This is me. But if we look at this picture, it's just a fuzzy representation. And sometimes we get so caught up with the weeds, we don't take a step back and look at the big picture.
Ah,
And that's what I'm talking about here, just trying to figure out what is the big picture that we're trying to accomplish for the Fitchburg Senior Center. It's fuzzy. It's something that we're trying to fill in some of the cracks, some of the gaps. That's what we're talking about with this vision statement. Trying to figure out how to become a recognized leader. And leader in what? In building connections and opportunities to reimagine aging and empower individuals to be their best selves. So just as for the mission statement, we said we would look at tactical decisions and say, does it fit with the mission statement of advancing healthy aging? When we're looking at strategies into the future, how does that help us reimagine the aging process? And this is where we spend a lot of time just talking about what does it mean to reimagine aging? What does it mean to be that recognized thought leader? And where do we go from here? So continuing with just the definition of thought leadership. Thought leadership leads to exposure for your ideas both inside and outside your company, particularly with journalists, analysts, event organizers, and conference hosts. It'll give you access to people who can help you make things happen. And that's, again, part of what the Senior Center tries to do, is have those connections so that you have people who can help you get to this future. It's fuzzy, as I said, but we see a picture. It's a fuzzy picture we see that we're going to try to fill in some of those blanks as we move forward. So when we talked about some of the steps to make sure that we can be moving in that direction on a long-term basis, one of the things to be a recognized leader, we believe that Jill is that. We believe she has done a lot, but thinking strategically, hate to say it, but she won't be around forever. So we have to figure out what do we do to make sure that leadership continues. So we said, well, let's start with the job description. Let's start with an examination of what she does, what she's expected to do, and what future people in this position are expected to do to continue this vision statement, to continue progress forward. That's what we're trying to do. We also, in the area of communication to other groups, the ability to build those connections, we really have to think about what has been done in the past, what works, what doesn't, and we talked about friend raising as opposed to just fundraising. And I saw that on your marketing. You don't just raise funds, but you raise friends. And that's what we have to think about when we're trying to build these connections. It also gives us a metric then to look at the strategic planning process. We can figure out what kinds of friend-raising events, how many we want to do in a year, and we can build those into plans as well. So it's a communication, and it's something that helps us take a step in that direction. So one of the to-dos on the list is to figure out what are the events that have been done in the past, what have we learned from them? How can we make them better? How can we increase the effectiveness toward this goal of reimagining aging, becoming the recognized leader? And the last thing we had talked about at our meeting in terms of this whole process of moving toward this fuzzy vision, what does it mean to reimagine aging? What is aging? Aging is something that doesn't start when you're 65 or 60 years old. You age from the day you're born. And so if we reimagine aging as a process that everybody is involved with, we should think about, well, you're aging in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and what you do at that point affects your health and success in your 60s, 70s, 80s. So we have to look at aging throughout this spectrum. And so we said, well, we really should look at what is being done by rec, what's being done by the library, what's being done by the Fitchburg Senior Center. So we're looking at the community of Fitchburg and the entire aging process to figure out how can we create a more seamless, a more cooperative endeavor to make sure that these things happen. And so we asked Jill to try to set up a meeting with rec and library and try to figure out how can we all work collaboratively to reimagine aging. So, thank you.
It's exactly all the words I would have said, but Linda said them so well. Again, this is a great group. It's really exciting when we meet. And I think, thank you for saying I'm a recognized leader, but we got a ways to go, and it's just really exciting to have everybody's input at the table. And so thank you for that. Barb, thank you for your input as well, and Ruth and Nan too. So moving on, just a quick program update.
One quick question.
Oh, sure, sorry.
Could we get a draft of your vision and the steps, or maybe some of if you have anything captured from your working minutes to help reflect on before we come together again?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no problem. I write minutes up, and so absolutely, I'll share it. I'll just forward it to all of you because you know where we're at.
Sounds
so,
good.
Yeah. So yeah, we haven't met for a couple months, and things are just going fine. Again, I know I keep saying we're busier than before COVID, and I really think we are. I was just capturing a few numbers before I came up here, and every week we've got 28 people coming to yoga. We've got 42 people showing up for pickleball. We know that because you have to sign up in a slot. We have 20 to 25 coming for functional fitness, which is the chair-based exercise. We have 20 to 25 coming for aerobics, plus another 6 to 8 on Zoom. And that's 3 days a week. Cards, we have a sheep's head group that's usually about 20. Yesterday, we probably had 25 here for euchre. We had the medical program with students that was live or on Zoom, and we had 40 people sign up for that. And then the first one, I think we had some 30 people. We're getting 60 meals a day, about 35 of them, 36 are going out for home delivered, and our meal numbers are up. I think we've got 26 for lunch today. We're averaging about 23 every single day, with about between 13 to 16 or 17 on the bus coming over for lunch. So things are really hopping. We have people coming in every morning drinking coffee, and there's just some really nice energy down there despite the mask mandate, despite everything else going on in the world. I feel a positive energy down at the center, and that makes me really happy. So things are going well. Just a few other things. We do have a holiday giving tree. Amy Jordan, one of the social workers, always heads that up. And between her and Sarah, they identify clients that might be a little lower income, might not have family, and might not get a gift over the holidays. So they identify clients. Initially, we were just accepting gift cards, or we advertised that way, because during COVID, we didn't want people going out shopping. After we promoted it as just drop off a gift card, Amy and Sarah decided that, you know what, we're going to put a few items on the tree, like things like mittens or a scarf or a fruit basket, because it's more joyful for a lot of people to go and get a personal item. So there are still some tags on the tree if you want to stop in, but already this is such a generous community. It's always so heartwarming. People are always so happy to give. So that'll be going on probably through pretty much up until the week of Christmas. We're lucky we did work with the city to start to accept online donations to the senior center. So you can go to our website and there's a little button, and it's kind of run through, if some of you are familiar using a utility payments to make pay your utility bill, it's that same system. So you might say, well, this is a utility payment, but you can identify us and you can make a donation that way. But there is a 3% fee to use a credit card to make a donation. But we're excited to at least offer that ability to folks. Let's see, what else? I'm going to send you over the Dane County public hearing. That is next Tuesday. There's a Zoom link, and it's an aging draft plan that the county has to do. And I think I want to say it's for 2022 to 2024, but anyway, it's a really long draft. It's like 77 pages, and it's all for Dane County, and it covers everything from housing and transportation and what are the needs. But what's in there are some really great demographics that we can really pull out for Fitchburg. And it's just kind of an interesting, nice, broad snapshot of what's going on, programs and services that are available to seniors, those that need to be improved. And so anyway, I'll just send you that. You certainly can zoom in and listen or just look at the draft. Like I said, that's next Tuesday. As I had mentioned in my previous email, the county contract will come through next month for approval from the commission. And we did get more funding. I think we're up to about $123,000. I'll go through all of that next month, where all that money's going, and explain that more. Hy-Vee, we're still going to be offering lunch at Hy-Vee on Wednesdays. This is kind of the end of the pilot. And the lunch itself, the program is good. But what we did discover is that the people that were using the bus for transportation to get to Hy-Vee, that attendance started out okay. It was maybe 7 or 8 people we were picking up on the bus. And now we're down to 3, sometimes 2, sometimes 4, not very many. So based on the feedback of those participants, they just really missed coming to the center. It's a different energy. They don't want to sit in the booth with 1 or 2 people. They want to sit in the open dining room. And so we talked to the county. So what we've decided is that Hy-Vee will be there for anybody every single Wednesday, like it is, 10:30 to 1. But if you need transportation to go to Hy-Vee, we're only going to offer that the 1st and the 3rd, and possibly the 5th if there is one. And then the 2nd and the 4th, those folks can come to lunch at the senior center. So they have that option then, and we're going to try that. And if it doesn't look like it's going well, we'll switch back. So that's kind of nice. I'm glad that we're able to get people back here if that's where they want to be. Thank you to the city, to council people, Dave. The new position was approved in the city budget, so we're working on a job description right now, and hope to get that out and have somebody hired, probably the way things go, end of January, early February.
And is that the shared position? And who will actually oversee that individual?
So I'm going to oversee that position. I met with the new police chief, and we had a great discussion, and he feels comfortable with my supervising that position just because we do have that experience with social workers. So it'll be really interesting. I'm really excited. I'm sure it's going to present some challenges, but the chief knows, just like myself, that this is new. And so we're just kind of working through it together, but I think it's going to be a really nice service to the city. So I'm looking forward to working with the police department on that. Transportation-wise, as Marcia mentioned, Bob Hillner from the Friends came to the budget meeting, and he just spoke on non-agenda items just to say to the city, to the public, this is coming down the pike. We have been talking about transportation truly ever since I became director, and that it is an issue that we really want to address. And I know the city has a lot of stuff going on in regards to transportation and Madison Metro, but we continue to discuss the idea of just purchasing our own bus. And we've been down this road before, about 20 years ago, and changed our mind for some reasons. But I think it's worth a look again, and the city is aware of it as well. I have met with, so that's the Sun Prairie Colonial Club, who did buy their own buses using, it's called 5310 grant money. So you can use that to purchase a bus. The grant will purchase the bus, the grant will cover 80% of that purchase, and then we would fundraise the remaining 20%. And then moving forward, that grant, you could apply every year, and it would pay for 50% of operating costs. So still lots to be done, but doing a lot of information gathering. I've been talking with Andrew at the city, the transportation engineer, so that we can sort of run parallel to what the city is deciding, and make sure that, you know, what we're doing is best for our seniors, best for the community. You know, maybe share that transportation. I'm not sure what that looks like, but this is a topic that I feel like it has to stay at the forefront, and so we'll continue to pursue that.
Question on the bus, is that going to be a designated senior center bus, or is that a city bus for other stuff?
Well, that's what's still all being discussed. I mean, you know, I'm kind of going down that road that it's just a senior center bus. But again, you know, it's trying to balance out what's best for us. You know, if it's city taxpayers' money that are going to help fund this, then how can we also help others? And so it is a larger city discussion. But I feel positive about, you know, the feedback that I've gotten from the city, and the interest in making sure that we can serve as many people as we can, senior or otherwise. And if it does look like it's just older adults, maybe that first year, and then depending on what the city, you know, wants to look towards down the road, depending on the Madison Metro routes, which I don't feel like any of the expansion is going to benefit the senior center, because it still won't come down far enough to get paratransit down here. And, you know, as we look at town of Madison, which is just right around the corner, there's a lot of things to discuss about transportation. So I will keep you in the loop. The other thing is the patio. I keep talking about a patio. I'm super impatient, and I know it's going to take a while, but I'm doing some background research. We do need a landscape architect to help us design a patio to meet the criteria set forth by ProMega, because they have architectural review of everything outside the building. So again, it's a little more involved than I had first thought. I thought I could just throw that concrete slab down and be good to go, plant a few flowers, but apparently not. So I will be patient with that and do it the right way. But we do have all the furniture, so, you know, not like putting the, what is it, the cart before the horse or whatever, but I got the furniture. So anyway, so still kind of working on that. The city has established a Town of Madison group, and we are now starting to put some tasks together, what we'll be looking at for our department, which really is figuring out how many older adults live there, what are their needs, do we need another meal route, how do we take referrals, that kind of stuff. So how are we going to market and build a relationship? There is it's called Novation Senior Commons, a 60-unit apartment building of seniors in town of Madison. So start to build that relationship, so when we do take them on, they're well aware of what we can offer to them. So working on that as well. Let's see, I think I have run through everything. And then just last, our winter weather policy, just to make it clear to the public. The senior center does not close unless the city closes. But when Oregon schools are canceled, our meal program is canceled. So for drivers, we don't want you on the road. If the bus driver shouldn't be out there, our meal driver shouldn't be out there, our caterer shouldn't be out there. So when the Oregon schools are closed, the meal site is closed. If we have an instructor call in that is nervous about driving, even though the city's not closed, we may cancel classes, but some staff will always be in the building. So we'll never shut our doors unless the city decides that they're gonna shut their doors. So just wanted to review that, because sometimes it's confusing about the Oregon School District, because we used to shut our doors when Oregon closed. Well, by 10 o'clock, all the roads were fine, and people were wondering why they couldn't come in. So, and I think that's it.
One,
Oh, okay, Dave's got a question too.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep,
Okay, more a comment, my priority as alder is, we have a wonderful senior center, is access. And obviously the transportation is the big part of that. I don't think anything with Madison Metro is really viable.
right.
I'm not sure our seniors are that comfortable getting on there, to be honest with you. But I'd like to have some more dialogue with, all these senior properties that are going in, senior apartments and assisted care and all these that I think we need to bring them to the table. You're going to build those in Fitchburg, these people are going to need, the residents will need some of these services, or their life can be better getting them to the senior center. We need to have some dialogue with those new buildings. But again, I view District 1 where I live, our access isn't great to the senior center. And so I view the only thing keeping us from reaching the lofty goals we've set out in our mission and vision statement are access. So that's all I'll say. Thank you.
No, I appreciate that, Dave. And oftentimes, senior complexes will say, well, we're going to have a bus. And then they do have a bus, and it sits in their parking lot because they don't have the staff to drive it. They don't have the time to maintain it. And so definitely that's on my radar as maybe a way to, just have some buy-in, because I agree. A lot of facilities want to offer a lot of programs and services, and they talk the talk. And, and I think their best intentions are there, but in reality, it's staffing. It's, they don't have all that I think that the city has. And so, so yeah, it's definitely a nice opportunity to explore.
Yeah, I need them to ante up a little bit too. That's what I guess what I'm saying.
Oh, we lost you, your voice.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Yeah, we just want them to ante up some, it's going to benefit, make their property more desirable, don't, they got a bus sitting there with no resources, forget that. Fund us and we'll take care of it. So I'd like to have that discussion. I think that's really the key. That's really the key to our senior center is the transportation and access as a reasonable cost. I'll shut up now. Sorry.
Oh, no, those are all good points, and I agree. And I'll reach out to some city departments that would be key to have at the table for that and keep that discussion going. I know it's come up before, but again, I think if we don't drive it, it's not going to go anywhere. That's not a pun. Yeah, so.
one other thing, I got an email from Mandy about the Holiday Lights Tour.
Oh, yeah.
And she's looking for volunteers to help drive people around, but can you clarify that a little bit?
Yeah, we didn't put that in the newsletter, and it was, years ago, we used to do this with a bus. We'd hire a bus, and we'd go look at the lights, and we might go to the governor's mansion, and then I haven't done it, and then COVID, whatever. So we had an older adult that was asking about that, and I thought, that would be really nice. Because Fitchburg now has a holiday light tour, and you can get a map and you can just drive around here. And so I asked Mandy, would that be okay if we just reached out to some folks that might be willing to take, one or two people out just to look at the lights here. Like I said, I think the light, it's supposed to be December 18th, if that's a Saturday, and I think the maps will become available on the 17th. Does that sound right, Scott? So anyway, so you can just get a map and just keep it right here locally. But they got some beautiful displays in Fitchburg. So yeah, if people are interested, they can call Mandy. If you're worried about vaccination status or whatever, we can work all that out, because I know that there's still, some concerns about bringing somebody in your car. So anyway, we have a couple people that, we don't have a ton of older adults because we haven't really promoted it, because we didn't really know, if we would find enough drivers. So if you have some interest, just let Mandy know, and then we'll start to collect names of people that don't drive that would love to get out or don't want to drive at night. So thanks for bringing that up, Jim.
Okay, any further questions for Jill? Item number 7 got cut off when I printed it. I believe it's our announcements. Any announcements or?
Just the next
Further.
meeting on the 13th. And that one, hopefully, we'll have a quorum because we will have the county contract to approve.
Okay,
And back at regular time.
Yeah, we'll go back to the 8:30 time.
okay, good. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Adjourn.